Hey everyone, so it's Saturday, I'm still in my pajamas, and I want to share with you how I'm solving a problem for myself with memory in AI. Now, if you're a designer and if you're building AI products or you're trying to figure out how to use AI to work consistently in getting better outputs out of Figma, Unity, you name it, you need something that bridges the gap. And many ways AI and inference is kind of the holy grail and what people are trying to do at the moment, and it is the biggest gap in a lot of our workflows. So today I want to share with you real quickly an overview of how I'm solving this problem with Obsidian and Claude and show you some of the results. So with that, let's dive into Obsidian. So if you guys aren't familiar with what Obsidian is essentially kind of like a open source Notion. It is a place that you can dump all of markdown files, and you can use AI and other services to look through those markdown files. Well, Karpathy created this system within Obsidian that basically allows you to use a different form of RAG. While a lot of people shit on RAG, what he did was actually pretty brilliant. He basically created three major folders. He created a raw, a wiki, and a Claude. And so what a raw is basically a place where you dump all of the stuff by hand. AI often doesn't go in there and touch it. And then once a day, AI will go through and it will wiki it. And what you get is a result, something like this, where you have everything connected. But unlike RAG that will go to every individual file, what it actually does is that it creates an index. So when AI or their subagents go in there, it just kind of looks around, finds what it needs, and it can find it. But because these things are interconnected, as you see here, they find things really, really quickly. So it's cheap and all that stuff. Now, something that I added for myself was I created a memory system. So one of the major problems that I think a lot of people are facing when designing with AI or using AI is having consistent memory from one chat to another. You're also blowing through a lot of tokens. It's getting confused and it just becomes really expensive. Now, before creating this system, I was basically burning through my 5-hour, $20 a month window in about 35 minutes. After this system, my 5-hour window lasted actually 3.5 to 4 hours. And I was getting consistent deterministic or semi-deterministic results out of it. And so how did I do that? Well, I have a skill that hack my threads. And by doing that, it stamps it with the time, what the pack did, the final decisions, key artifacts, what failed. And then I use that in my next thread. And so by doing this, not only can I continue from one thread another and it's cheaper, I can go between Cursor, Claude, any AI system ever, and it will be able to pick up where I left off. And this is free and it's dual encrypted. So the more you train it, it's your data and it's no one else's, which is kind of a big deal for me, I'm not gonna lie. So with that said, let's talk about how this kind of memory system works for things like, I don't know, Figma. Where's fucking Figma? So if you see inside of Figma right here, I have a bunch of generic buttons. And if we dive into the guts of this, I have my variables, and all of these are tokenized, and they're actually matching a JSON file as well, but everything works as I desire. Now, buttons seem basic, but to get them consistent is kind of a beast. So by training my design skill, which I'll show you here in a second, what I was able to do is one-shot this. And so no matter where I drag it right here, it will start switching variables and stuff like that. Also, if we notice here, everything is perfectly auto layout. So like anytime I create a card or anytime I create a button or whatever component that I have trained it, it basically now will execute it perfectly 95% of the time. And the more you build out these things, the faster you will become. But the training of this is actually kind of complex and complicated. But to solve this problem, what you actually need to do is you need to use skills. Without getting into the nuances of skills, what I did to solve this problem is a form of education. So inside of raw here, I have AI, and inside of here, I have theory. So I took this website, Agent Skills, and I had AI and Opus cut this apart, and then I went through every part section by section, asked questions. And so I have a series of questions that I was asking that I can memorize, and that it will be tagged for AI to look at it if I want. Now, what I realized is that skills aren't necessarily a markdown file. I mean, it's part of it is, but it's actually a folder in many ways. And this folder has a markdown file, and that markdown file can reference other files. Now, again, I don't want to get into the nuance of skills, but that said, creating a really good skill is important, and a lot of the skill makers, Anthropic, or all these tools give you are kind of crap. And like what you really have to do is that to get a good skill that is like for design or anything like that, you have to build something and have AI watch you. And so over time, I basically started doing that. And so as a result, if we look at my design system foundations, I started going into everything from my 8-point system to my token values, into all of this stuff, button states, whatever. And I created a skill with that. And with that skill, I was able to create that layout. Now, here is something that's interesting. To do this, I had to chat it out and have AI use Figma Console MCP to keep checking my work. And while that's cool, it's very like laborious and it burns a lot of tokens. So what I did is I used Claude to create this thing, which is called Figma Watcher. And what Figma Watcher does is that it watches you like change buttons, do whatever you want, work, and then it will then process that in Ollama. And so Ollama is then taking all of that and analyzing what you're doing, and then you bring that into Claude. So if we take a look at what that output is on Figma Watcher, here is a session. So it looks at everything I did. And then I use Claude to look at that and then question what I want, and then it changes my documentation and it changes my skill. So the more I work and the more it watches me, the better the design system is. This is kind of the crux of like how you get really good outputs from design and AI. Not only that, is that all of this stuff will accumulate and it will make your stuff better. Now, I actually went a step further and I started scraping my services like Spotify and Notion and stuff like that. And I started using AI to arrange the data and wiki it so it can find what I like and my taste. And I can use that data to build interesting prototypes, which are coming. If you're interested, let me know down below. This system to me is super interesting, and it has made AI a lot more obtainable and a lot more like fun. And if you start messing with this more and more, the more opportunities, I should say, will arise for you. Now, again, this is not a very sexy, crazy, cool video. It is very technical, but it is cool. So if you like it, let me know with a comment down below. And until next time, everyone, take care. Plus, minus, peace.